Do other people fear you? Listen, my son, I tell you the truth. Some men have such a strong presence that they intimidate others without even trying. I'm not talking about the guys who put on a fake alpha male behavior or talk a big game. No, this is something deeper. A quiet, controlled aura that makes others stand back. Do you know what I mean? Listen. It's the kind of energy that doesn't need to shout to be heard. Here's the reality. Listen. Men who are truly intimidating never think about being intimidating. In fact, they're often surprised when others tell them they are. So as we go through these 8 signs, ask yourself if any of this sounds familiar. In that case, you might have a stronger presence than you realize. Number 1, strong eye contact. The first sign you have a strong personality is in your eyes. A strong eye gaze speaks volumes. On the other hand, if you keep your eyes down, you express weakness. Listen, a man's conviction is seen in his eyes long before he ever speaks a word. This is why most guys carry the aura of a worm. They lack purpose and are drifting through life aimless and unsure. You can literally see the emptiness in their eyes. Think back to the recent pandemic. The pressure was on. Fear was everywhere, and weaker people lined up to follow orders without question. But some men stood out. Those who refused to follow blindly. If you look closely, you'd see it. Their eyes held something different. While 99% of people lined up for triple boosters without a second thought, these men held their ground. They weren't swayed by pressure. They had conviction in their eyes, a strength that went beyond muscle, beyond words. You see, it doesn't matter if a man weighs 300 pounds of pure muscle. If he lacks conviction in his eyes, his presence is weak. This is why fake alpha males fail to command respect with their presence. They pump up their chest and try to intimidate others with their body. It's pathetic. Real presence is internal, a quiet fire in your eyes that tells everyone you're rooted in purpose. Conviction, it's scary to people because it means you can't be shaken from your path, not by anyone, not even by the devil himself. There is an old quote that goes, "The devil loves a man with no direction, for he'll follow any road that comes his way. But the man with conviction is a hard man to sway. He's a threat to the devil himself." And it's real. Once you've found your purpose, your eyes say everything to people. They will see it and instinctively know they can't shake you. Number 2, reading people. My son, can you read people's intentions? Listen, the most powerful men possess a rare skill. The ability to read others' intentions. You see, anyone can talk a bunch of crap. It's easy to spit out words that others want to hear. But reading people is about decoding their silence as much as their words. Can you do that? Listen, it's about seeing true intent, spotting motives, deception, and agendas that most people overlook. When you can read people, they feel it and it rattles them. You see psychopaths, sociopaths, manipulators, liars, and narcissists all depend on secrecy and control. But when they sense you're onto them, their power fades. You become a threat to their power, the one person they can't fool. This skill doesn't just make you aware, it makes you dangerous. It's the reason why high-ranking military leaders are trained to master it. Remember, your ability to read others makes even the biggest psychopaths tremble. Number 3, life scars. Another clear sign of a strong and intimidating personality are the life scars that you carry with you. If you've been through a lot in life, you carry those scars with you. They're part of who you are. They make you experienced and seasoned. And it's not something people who grew up in a comfort zone can relate to. Imagine you grew up in a rough neighborhood, seeing violence daily. Firsthand, maybe even getting your own hands dirty in fights. Your energy will be completely different from someone who has never experienced struggle or conflict. Even if you're at peace now, the presence of those battle scars, real or metaphorical, remains with you. And if things were to go sideways, you would be ready for the fight because you've already seen the worst life can throw at you. That's a power most can't match. Number 4, be comfortable with silence. My son, are you comfortable with silence? Most guys are babbling fools. They can't shout up. They're so uncomfortable with silence that they scramble for small talk, desperate to fill the gaps. They think silence is awkward, but in reality it's a sign of strength and presence. You see, a man who is comfortable with silence isn't afraid to just be. He doesn't need to speak to validate his existence or fill the air with meaningless chatter. His presence is enough, and that is what makes him intimidating. While others drown in their own noise, he stands calm and composed, knowing that real power doesn't need to be constantly projected. And if he does decide to speak, it's about few meaningful words and maximum impact. Number 5, don't be afraid of death. My son, are you afraid to die? Listen, this sign is rare, but it's one that sets certain men apart. Out of there, some men walk with death. These men aren't depressed or suicidal. They simply hold no fear of the end. They understand one brutal truth. Death is coming, and running from it doesn't change a thing. In fact, the only way to live fully is to walk with death. It's about enjoying life without being so scared to risk doing anything. Even the ancient philosophers and Stoics lived by this. They called it memento mori, which translates into remember that you will die. You see, most people are terrified of death. They cling to safety, afraid of what's inevitable. They can't even talk about it without shaking like a leaf. But men who walk with death, they're different. Their life under pressure isn't some forced act. It's the confidence of someone who has accepted what everyone else tries to avoid. They don't waste time on trivialities or get stuck by fear. Walking with death gives you an edge. It's intimidating because it shows you're free of the biggest fear that controls most people. Atheists have the hardest time walking with death. For them, everything ends in dust. No purpose, no afterlife, just nothing. But those who have faith, true faith in God, smile in the face of death, and that confidence is terrifying to anyone who hasn't made peace with their mortality. Number 6, embracing discomfort. Quit comfort zone. Are you living in your comfort zone? The man who puts himself through discomfort every day truly intimidates those around him. You see, most people are slowly suffocating in a comfort crisis, avoiding anything that challenges them. They constantly seek comfort, but it's killing their spirit. And when they see someone stepping out of that comfort, it's confronting. Listen, it's the same reason fat guys often feel intimidated walking into the gym, because they're surrounded by people getting after it, pushing limits that they themselves avoid. But here is the truth. Listen, we are built for pressure. We're designed to thrive in extremes, not to sit back and let life pass us by. So when you choose discomfort, you're living the way you were meant to, full of power and full of life. We're not meant to be in perfectly regulated room temperature environments all the time. We're supposed to experience extreme cold and hot temperatures. And we're supposed to exert physical strain on our bodies. We're not meant to be sedentary. So when you get out of that comfort zone, it may not feel good initially, but everything grows. Your aura, your testosterone, and your spirit. This is what separates those who stay weak from those who become strong and intimidating. Number 7. Be unconcerned by people's opinions. Do you care about what people say? The biggest killer of your goals is caring about what others think about you. Listen, the best men have zero regard for others' opinions. They simply don't care what women say or how other men judge them. They may listen to genuine feedback, taking in what's useful and discarding the rest. But that's as far as it goes. While most people are constantly seeking validation online, posting crap on social media like a little girl, the unconcerned man couldn't care less. He doesn't act for others' approval. His purpose guides him, not others' opinions. This independence makes him stand out in a world guided by external validation. My son, stay unconcerned. Only you dictate your reality. Number 8, keep an aura of mystery. It's very important to keep yourself mysterious. Listen. The best men have an air of mystery around them. Beware. This doesn't mean you should act like the Sigma male dorks you see online. No, it means you don't overshare or make your life an open book. You leave people guessing. This unpredictability adds to your intimidating nature because you're not easily understood or figured out. People don't know where they stand with you, and that uncertainty keeps them on edge. It's not about playing games, it's about letting your presence speak for itself. When you're a man of few words and even fewer personal details, both men and women instinctively respect you more. I made a full video on the channel about how to be a mysterious man. Feel free to watch it. These are the 8 signs of a strong, intimidating personality. Do you recognize any of them in you? Let me know in the comment section below.